Today we are going to study channel power in channel under channel management. So we are studying distribution management, in which we have channel management chapter. Within that we are studying channel power topic. So there are five sources of power channel has, or the company exercises five types of power on the channels, or sometimes do channel also have some powers they are using uh, for benefit of themselves, or to get more profit margin, and they are using this power against the company or the manufacturer. So what all different types of sources of power company exercises on the channel members, like distributor, dealer, stockist, retailer, wholesaler. So these type of five sources of power which manufacturer or the company uses are: first is reward, second is coercion. Coercion is like a force, reward is like you appreciate them, you recognize them, you give them some monetary benefits. Uh, so first is reward, second is coercion, third is reference, fourth is legitimate, and fifth is expert. So I'll just brief what all these powers are. First is reward. If channel members are performing good, if their channel members are using their instructions, their manual, their standard operating procedure, their methods, and they are not doing anything wrong, if they are not behaving uh, improperly, if they are behaving what is expected by the manufacturer or the company, then company will reward them, appreciate them, will give them some kind of benefits or some kind of monetary profit. Then second is coercion. Sometimes a company may threaten, may fine the wholesaler, retailer, or channel members in order to improve their behavior, in order to follow their procedure, rules, regulation. Then third is sometimes company is having very good brand value, brand image, or brand equity, like HUL, Procter and Gamble, Nestle, Amul, and these channel members, they wanted to work with these kind of companies, multinational companies, because they know that these products are easily get sold in the market. So the more number of products you sell, the more number of profit you will generate. The fifth is legitimate. That means legal bindings, laws, some acts. So channel members, they have to follow some rules, regulations, some laws, some acts which are there as per the Indian penal code. So as per the Indian law, uh, wholesaler, distributor, retailer, and other channel members, they have to abide by some rules, regulations, some laws of the India. So they have to company or the manufacturer can also ask them to follow certain rules and regulation which are there in our uh, constitution. The next is expert. So these companies and manufacturers, they have expertise. Suppose HUL, Hindustan Unilever, they have expertise in distribution, they have expertise in advertisement, they have expertise in product manufacturing. So that's why the channel members, they always like to be with these type of organizations. Okay, so these are the five types of powers either company or the manufacturer has. Or sometimes channel members also use some kind of reward, not reward, but some type of coercion or the force power. If channel member is very popular, then he can also use a reference power. Okay, or expertise. If channel members has some expertise, or if that channel member is very popular, then he can use reference powers to uh, to attract that company or the manufacturer or the customers. So we have so company also exercises these five types of powers, and sometimes channel members also can use one or some of these power. So we'll start with the reward. Reward is a benefit given to channel member for him to confirm to conform his behavior in line with the system. So if the channel members are following the behavior of the if the channel members are following rules regulations set by the manufacturer or the company, then they will be rewarded. So reward is a benefit. It may be monetary, it may be non-monetary, given to a channel member for him to conform his behavior in line with the system. That's why if you see some wholesaler distributor, they are given award that best wholesaler of the year, best retailer of the year, or best channel member or best channel partner, or they may be given trophy, they may be given certificate, they may be given some check or some monetary benefits, or they may be given some commission, incentive, bonus. Then reward could be financial or otherwise recognition. For example, the reward power is the most popular in the administration of marketing channel. So sometimes reward can be financial, sometimes it is not financial. So give if we are giving some check, some commission, some bonus, some incentive, then that is financial. But if we are giving just trophy and a certificate, then it will become non-financial. The reward power is the most popular in the administration of the marketing channel. Reward power is most popular in the administration of the marketing channel. So with the help of reward, you can push the terms and conditions, your strategies, and uh, wholesaler and retailer, they will be very happy to work for you, because they want to earn more profit, they want to earn that particular reward. However, it should not be used too often, as otherwise it will be taken for granted and expected always. So uh, if you are giving reward many times, so it may not have any value, or it may it that message you are what message you are giving is that every time you will get same kind of reward. So channel members should not be habitual to that particular reward. They should not ask you that reward whenever that reward is not there. Reward should be kept for some time, not for all the time. Coercion power is the hint of punishment. So by whenever you are threatening, whenever you are showing some kind of fear, or whenever you want to punish any channel member, for the channel member, so coercion power is the hint of punishment for the channel member if he does not fall in line with the requirement of the channel principle. If any channel member is not following our rules and regulation, then we can use threat or fear or any punishment. This incentive could again be economical or non-economical. So example, withholding of the incentive payment if the infrastructure promised by an industrial distributor is not built up. So if we are manufacturing some industrial products, say uh, diesel generator or some vehicle or something like that. So some equipment, and our distributor has promised us for stocking those equipments, we will have very big warehouses, and because of that you have given some incentive or some commission. So you can withhold, we can stop that incentive or commission, and you can ask him to build that infrastructure which is promised, and then only they will be getting incentive. So pushing the distributor on purchases through demand draft against earlier permission to purchase on check. So you might have said to the distributor that we will accept your payment through check. But after watching his poor performance, you may decide that only demand drafts are required, because some of his checks might have bounced. So you then punish him that we will accept only demand draft. Use of coercive power even once in the channel system develops distrust in the channel partners, and the relationship may never be strong again. So you have to use the punishment very carefully. Sometimes the relationship which is broken will broken for the entire life or for all the time. or your channel members may leave you. If the channel partners have the maturity to understand the necessity of their principal having to resort to the use of this power, the one instance can also strengthen the relationship. So if the channel members are mature, then they will not repeat the mistake. They will use this punishment to strengthen the relationship. They will not give you any chance in the future to to punish you, to punish that channel member. Expertise. Expert power is based on the special knowledge that the channel principal may have, which is particularly benefit to the channel partners. So some companies they may have expertise, like if you see Apple has expertise in iPhone and whatever gadgets, whatever electronic items they are manufacturing. So every channel member would like to work with them. Example, HUL has spent a lot of time and effort to develop an efficient supply chain system to reach the product faster to the market at optimum cost. So HUL has very good distribution system. That's why channel members they would like to work with HUL, because they know that HUL will make available that particular product very fast. Or HUL people, they do come often, they do come every day to take the stock updates, or to provide that particular product. Distributors of the HUL naturally would would value this expertise. Handling institutional business and modern retail format requires special knowledge of these customers. Handling institutional business and modern retail formats require special knowledge of these customers. Companies which have developed this knowledge over time will help the customers and their channel partners like C&FAs. Companies which have developed this knowledge over time will help their customers and their channel partners like carrying forward agents. So it will take a lot of time to get that expertise. It's not like that you today you have started the company and tomorrow you will get the competitive advantage in distribution. It will not happen like that. It is obvious that expert power gets developed over a period of time and may require investment in time, effort, and even financial terms. So a company has to work, company has to spend time, company has to spend efforts, company has to do a lot of efforts, company has to invest a lot. Then only that expert power will be developed. Only the results obtained will convince the channel partners of the expertise. So if HUL is saying that we have very good distribution system, if they are orally verbally they are saying that, but in the practice it is not true. They are not they do not able to provide that particular product on time, or their salespeople are not coming regularly. Then it will be difficult for that channel member to believe the claims of the HL. The channel partners develop trust in the expertise. So channel partner always would appreciate that expertise. Secondly, any particular aspect of the expertise is not permanent. So what today HL may have a expertise in distribution, but tomorrow it may not be there. So you have to develop over a period of time that expertise. After some time, the channel partners take them for granted and expect more of it. The channel principal has to make efforts to keep renewing the expertise continuously. After some time, the channel partners take them for granted and expect more of it. So channel partners always like to associate with the company which has expertise in the marketing skill, or distribution, or product development, or pricing, or sales promotional activities. The channel principal has to make efforts to keep renewing the expertise continuously. So always the distributors of the HUL will always expect some more or advanced type of distribution system than they have today, or they may want some advanced advertisement expertise of HUL than whatever they have today. Then legitimacy. This power arises from the contracts or agreements, usually in writing. So most of the laws, most of the acts, most of the legal bindings, they are in written form. These contracts clearly define the parameters of behavior and action expected from each of the signatories to the contract. These contracts clearly define the parameters of behavior and action expected from each of the signatories to the contract. So it is mentioned in every rules and regulation, every law is written on the paper in black and white, and you cannot deny that, and you have to behave accordingly what is written in that particular law or regulation or act. And it is already decided that who will take the responsible responsibility, who will do what behavior should be expected. It gives right for them to enforce the behavior or action in case of default. So if somebody is not performing as per the contract, as per the law, as per the act, then uh, there are power given to other party to take, he can take legal action, or court may punish that particular person who has not following that particular contract. The contract may specify that distributor will cover the market with ready stocks. So example like HUL, HUL write in a contract that per distributor which is there in Pune has to cover all the areas in the Pune, and he has to make the stock available. He has to provide the stock to all the retailers. Then only he can take the distributorship. Second is the contract may state that for an industrial distributor he will give a 30-day credit period for collection of payments. So uh, suppose the diesel generator manufacturing company, he may ask his distributor in Pune that all the companies which are there in industrial area MIDC, you have to give 30-day credit for them. The source of legitimate power started from the operating norms and values. So the operating norms which are there in the market, operating norms and values which are there for years together in our heritage, in our history, will are the source of laws or acts. The norms and the values developed historically and became standards of behavior. For example, if market gets a 15-day credit historically, it is expected that new company entering the market will honor this practice. So suppose uh, today Domino's and other pizza manufacturing company, pizza providing companies, they have a suppose 30 minutes delivery. So it is also expected from the new company that they should also provide the 30 minutes delivery. So like that, if suppose any company which is manufacturing some industrial equipment, industrial machinery, so they are if there is a norm in that particular industry that uh, customer should be given 15-day credit, so the company expect from the distributor that he should extend the credit of 15 days. HL has over 4,000 distributors. They have to be working on a standard contract rather than the varieties of traditions that may be prevailing in all the markets in which they operate. But it is uh, we are saying that whatever the trends, whatever the norms, whatever the values they are there in the market or in the history, they have to be followed by the companies. But big companies, multinational companies who has a market leadership in worldwide, who has global market leadership like HL, Procter and Gamble, Nestle, these companies they do not have to go with the tradition or the history. They can they can they can form their own contract, they can form their own process methods, standard operating procedures, they can have their own terms and conditions. So if you are popular like HL, then you don't have to follow the tradition. You can come up with the new policies also. Again, it was known practice in Brook Bond that no credit was to be extended to the market and all the sales was only against the cash. So Brook Bond has a policy that even if you want to purchase in a small quantity, even if you are purchasing a large quantity, we will give you product on the cash payment only. So this is the new policy. This is not the existing policy. This is the norm. This is not the norms in the industry. This is not the history. This is not the uh, tradition. This was an unwritten rule, but strictly followed and became an operating norm in due course. Legitimate power is the most objective of all the powers between the channel partner. So legitimate power is very good uh, power. Legitimate, that act, rules, regulation, uh, they are the most systematic, scientific and proven power. Then reference, this power stems from the sheer association. So reference means somebody is working with particular company like HCL, and they feel they feel proud, they feel honored, they feel privileged, they feel that because of this company I'm also getting more profit. A principle may be considered as the industry gold standard, and the channel partner associated with this principle feel proud to be partner. Like Nestle has a reputation of giving the highest value brands to its customers. So Nestle products are very good products, and people would like to purchase these products. So the distributors, they always like to be associated with the Nestle. If the Nestle were to scout for distributors in a new market, there would be several good prospects who would want to work with the Nestle. Next is Vijay Sales. Vijay Sales has established itself as an outstanding consumer durable retail chain. Even well-known international brands like LG or Samsung would want to be present heavily in the Vijay Sales outlets. So Vijay Sales has become a very good distributor. So the brands like LG and Samsung, they also want to keep their products in the Vijay Sales. Referent power helps the companies being selective in the channel partners they would like to work with. So the companies which has got huge reference power like HUL, Procter and Gamble, Nestle, these company has a benefit that they can choose their own channel partner, because they many distributors are ready to take their distribution. It gives the dominant channel partner with the right reputation the choice of choosing his partners. It gives the dominant channel partner with the right reputation the choice of choosing his partner. So companies like HL, Procter and Gamble, they choose their wholesaler and distributor, retailer, because they are reputed and many people are ready to work for them. Again, this reference power can only be developed over a long period of time with a lot of hard work. In reality, the powers do not operate in isolation but in combination. So it is not like HUL is using only one type of power. It is the combination of all the power. It works. You cannot have just one power and you compromise on another power. You are not taking care of the another power. You have to take care of all the five powers. The power bases are also classified as coercive, that is, or force, that is coercive and reward, and non-force like legitimate, reference and expert. So reward and punishment, these are force power, and laws, acts, reference power and expert power are non-force power. Ideal channel is a channel member or a principal provides all five power bases. So the company like HUL, they would like to exercise all the five powers and they would like to use in very good combination or at the maximum level. Once the power bases on offer by competition seem better, the channel partners start looking elsewhere for better bargaining. Once the power bases for on offer by competition, once so if the competitive company, if the competitors of HUL, if they also start providing such a kind of offers, then channel partner may switch to another brand for better bargains. Now, countervailing. What is countervailing power? As the company, as the HUL has these five types of powers, also the channel members also sometimes they may have a power. Like many times channel member may have some influence on the principal also. Even the distributor in the market in which he operates can have referent and expert powers over his own customers, and this is equally valuable to the company. So like I'll give you example. uh, Walmart has very good distribution ship. Amazon has very good distribution delivery system, distribution channel. Big Bazaar has very good distribution channel. DMart has very good distribution channel. So they also have a more power over there, over the companies whose products they are keeping in the that retail mall. So nowadays these distributor like Amazon, Big Bazaar, DMart, Walmart, Flipkart, these people have become more powerful than the company. This power is rightly called countervailing power. In this context, the expert use the term fairness, solidarity, no exploitation, no blocking, and equitable opportunity as some of the characteristics of such a harmonious relationship. So the power should not be used negatively. While using power, there should be fairness, there should be solidarity, there should be no exploitation, there should be no blocking, and everybody should be given equal opportunity. So company should give equal opportunity to all their wholesalers. Company should give equal opportunity to all their retailers. So fairness should be, ethics should be followed. At times, the strong partner seem to exploit the weaker partner. So it may happen, it bound to happen, it is happening, and it is norm that the powerful channel member may influence or may exploit weaker channel member. When the business of the principals started declining, it affected the ancillaries even more than it did the principals. So sometimes distributor, wholesaler, retailer, they get badly affected due to the poor performance of the company. They were not prepared for any other businesses and were stranded. So some wholesaler or some retailer, they only sell one type of products. So if the company is not performing good, then they are in trouble. Many of them had to just close shop when the orders started drying up. So if the company is not performing good, the wholesaler and retailer, they have to close down their shops or the outlets. This is so well, wholesaler will close down its warehouses, and retailer will close down its retail outlets. This is one of the reason that distributors shy away from being exclusive for any single company unless it is a company like HL, Procter and Gamble, Nestle, L&T, and Maruti. So except the multinational companies like HL, all other companies, distributors will like to have uh, more companies. They want to work with the more manufacturers. To summarize, channel members may take time to build power. Once having acquired the power, they would do well to use it carefully to support their objectives and also protect themselves against unnecessary conflict. We will see channel policy in the next lecture. So till then, thank you.